Jamie, the CEO of FitFCK, a UK-based dating app startup with a strong community around it, managed to raise more than £100,000 on Crowdcube. This was his experience, in his words, on how he managed a successful crowdfunding raise.
Now that you're at the other side of it and it's been successful, what was your experience with the concept of crowdfunding as a whole?
So what I've always said is crowdfunding, especially with Crowdcube, which is like the biggest platform in Europe, right? You're going onto a stage and just saying, right, everyone watch me do this, right? Now that's great if it works. If it doesn't, it's a huge public L. An L is one thing, but in this social media space, especially when a lot of eyes are on FitFCK right now, an L would be very detrimental, right? Now, what I mean by L, for anyone who's anyone who's over the age of 40 maybe, a loss, I'm referring to the campaign failing. And for those of you that don't know, with Crowdcube, if you don't hit your minimum target by the end of the campaign, you have nothing. So if you're raising, let's say, £1 million and you raise 999k, you don't get it, right? So the trick is to get into overfunding as soon as possible. And we were very fortunate. We closed off at 128% overfunded. Very happy about that. Over 80 different investors, which is great. But if anyone thinks that you just put your product on Crowdcube and it raises itself, you're very mistaken. It's very much a 50-50 work rate deal.
And even based on that, right? Because you have I don't know if I'd call it a community-based business, but it's definitely a business with a strong community. You have a social media platform or presence. You're able to kind of get the message out there more. What would you say drove you to want to do this?
I think you provided the answer in the question there. It's because we've got a community, and, for this round of funding, you have public investing, public fundraising, then you have obviously private fundraising, which is where you're going to, high net worth individuals, ultra net worth individuals, VCs, whatever. I know, and many other people know, that it's a lot easier to raise from those people once you've got money already committed, because they can see, okay, the raise is going well, this is what we can do now. I knew that the quickest way for us to do that is through crowdfunding, because it's, for the most part, minimal ticket over a mass audience. And obviously time plays a factor in it. So for me, I thought, right, the first part of our A round, we'll do it through crowdfunding, do a decent number, raise a bit more through private investment raising, and then close off at a certain point, which, I'm hoping will be November time, end of November. And then go into 2025, no breaks, all gas.
And even based on that then, if someone were considering crowdfunding, what would you recommend the thought process be in terms of whether or not that's a good idea to even go for?
Do you have a community? For sure. Do you have an online presence? Because that's a huge part. When you're on the platform, you can see what channels your traffic's coming from. So if you've got no followers and you've got no audience, there's pretty much no point in doing it. You might as well just raise privately. I've seen insane ideas on the homepage for Crowdcube, like such good ideas. And then I've gone onto Instagram and they've got like 20 followers. I'm literally like, why is this on Crowdcube? Do you know what I mean? I'd say that make sure you've got an online presence, make sure you've got a community, because, if people are investing £100 to £1,000, that adds up. Trust me, when you're crowdfunding, that adds up. So, it's a combination of getting those big checks in to lead the round and then getting everyone else to chip in and help you reach your minimum target and then get into overfunding as soon as possible.
Yeah, and even when I looked at, again, studying advantages, disadvantages to be able to ask you about it, one of the disadvantages I actually saw was the possibility of your idea getting copied just through the fact that you're putting it out there and you're looking to raise money so other people who have money might see it and want to do it themselves. So I know that you were big on IP and building brand from day one. So I'd love to know kind of what your thought process and journey with building this FitFCK concept and brand as a whole.
So people have copied it, people are still copying it, and people will always copy it. But there will only be one FitFCK. Fact, because we own the trademark across God knows how many cases, right? That is something that I believe to my core, is that, if you want to copy it, fine. be my guest. A lot of it isn't secret sauce. A lot of it's not incredible idea. It's a very strong brand with a very strong community that can't be bought or stolen. You know, you can't go to a brand and say, right, here's £100, I'm going to buy your community. It's not how it happens, you know. And you know, I'd sell my body before I sell the FitFCK trademark.
But just finally on that, in what situation would you say it makes sense for someone, or is it only community that makes sense for someone to go for crowdfunding as opposed to private investment?
I don't think you can be low key online and do crowdfunding. Just don't think. Like I say, you need to be pushing it on LinkedIn, on Instagram, to the point where you get to the end of your platform like I have, your campaign, sorry, like I have, and you're like, I need to stop posting. I was posting every day on LinkedIn. I was emailing. You need to, you know how you have like a gym routine and like a health routine for like your diet? You need to have that every single day. Right, at this time I'm posting this, at this time I'm doing this, at this time. And that's why I say content creators and influencers don't deserve the stick they get most of the time, right? Because if you're going to be at the top of your game, it is like non-stop. Raising breaks people, bro, as well. I know people who have stopped what they're doing because they hate raising. I love it. I think you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. You can't say like, oh yeah, I like fundraising. You either love it because it's a thrill and it's a rush, and it is drug-like. That's the weirdest thing. And that's where you need to be very self-aware to control your dopamine, your highs, your lows, which I'm not perfect at. I'm still working at that. But it's addictive for sure, because the rush of doing something and closing something is crazy. It's very much like the gym, for sure.
Jamie was able to reach his crowdfunding goals after building one hell of a community around his dating app, FitFCK. To learn more about his journey and where he plans on taking the company to, you can watch our full conversation right here.